Welcome to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, somebody who's very dear to our hearts, been a champion for us for many years, and she's come now in her newest role. Welcome back to the WC podcast, the mayor of the city of Las Vegas, our friend Shelley Berkley.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back with you, and I'm delighted to have an opportunity to talk with you again.
We are too, Mayor. I think, again, like I said, we're going to get into it, but what we are going to skip is last time you were here, you already shared with us a bunch about you, your upbringing, your education, the multiple roles. So we're going to have to pick up right where you left off, because you said if, and we all were hoping you would, became the mayor of Las Vegas, you were going to deliver some things quickly, and you already have. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get right to the short term. What are one of the one or two issues that you came into the office thinking we got to get this off our table, and you already have?
Okay, actually, there are a couple of things. When I was campaigning, I campaigned on the fact that we needed to bring an end to the Badlands controversy. And that was one of the first things. I said it would be one of the first things that I did if I got elected. I got elected, and it was actually the first thing that I did. A lot of money. It's a difficult decision to make, but the city had lost a number of lawsuits. It went to the Supreme Court of the state, lost 7-0, and I did not see a path forward. So I said, let's get out of this, let's end it, and let's move forward. And that's exactly what we did. Second thing is that Cashman Field has been an albatross around the city's neck for years. It was never what people truly wanted or needed in the community. People have been complaining about it since it was built, although I enjoyed going there for many, many different things over the years. But I said, we're going to sell Cashman. And that's exactly what we did. We sold it to Lennar, which is a leading home builder in the country. And they are going to be building not affordable housing, workforce housing. What is workforce housing? Nobody knows better than you do. We're talking about affordable living for teachers and police officers, nurses, firefighters, solid middle-class families that even though they work and they're professionals, getting a home in Las Vegas now, or a safe and clean place for your family to live, is increasingly more challenging. So the fact that Cashman, which is so ideally located, it's going to turn into a wonderful community for middle-class families, just like my own, when I was growing up. So I'm very, very excited about that. Not only do I believe it's going to change that entire part of the city, it's something that we need desperately. We had our city council meeting the other day, and the Gwynn Center had done a study on affordable housing and what the gaps are. And it was a very compelling presentation, because it demonstrated how much more the city, actually all of Southern Nevada, needs to do to accommodate those people that need a good, safe, clean place to raise their families. And we're in short supply, but every meeting that we have with the city council, we're voting for more affordable housing, more workforce housing, and I'm very excited that we're doing this, and I'm very happy that Lennar bid and won Cashman Field.
And those are two big things off your plate already in the first 2 months.
Two big things off the plate.
That's good. So, Mayor, we're excited because, again, I encourage our listeners to view our Season 4, Episode 14 with you that you came last time, because they're going to learn a lot about you in the past. But today, we really wanted you back because we want to hear more. We just heard about the very short term, but you also have some midterm and even long-term goals. You have a vision for this city. I've heard you say these are going to be the best years for Las Vegas. And so tell us a little bit about the next few things on your plate over the next few months. I hope that one of them is closing the lease agreement with Workforce Connection so we can locate the Civic Plaza.
I am looking forward to it. And, I have watched in the last few months since I got elected, I have huge windows in my office right across from the Civic Plaza and the building right next door, which is part of the city complex. And that's exactly where we want you to go. We want one-stop shopping for our Las Vegas residents. So hopefully, the Las Vegas Chamber is going to go there, hopefully, and I expect Workforce Connections to be located there. Secretary of State's office is going to be there, and a number of other very important components of our community that are providing services for our fellow citizens they may not even know about, but they're being provided with these services, and that Civic Plaza is the best place to be located. So I'm excited that you're going to be a neighbor. I'll wave at you from my window.
Our windows. That's awesome. And it's got beautiful walking spaces, places to eat outdoors. It's just beautiful.
It's going to be a true downtown community. And that's something that we haven't had in Las Vegas. We are catching up with our success. Most of our challenges are growth related. We have grown so quickly. And I'll give you I'll explain this personally. When my family moved to town in the early 60s, there were 80,000 people in the entire Las Vegas Valley. Now, that was then. Now, 60 years later, there's 2.6 million people in the same geographic area. And you know better than anyone that it's estimated that our population is going to go to 3 million by 2050. We're going to need to provide resources and everything else that people that are moving into town are going to need, not to mention those that are already here. So we have got a lot of work to do, but I do think that the next decade is going to be extraordinary in this city and throughout Southern Nevada. But my responsibility is to ensure that the city is in a leadership role, and that's exactly what I plan to ensure that we are.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And again, kudos to your amazing team there, from the city manager, Mike Jansen and Dina Babsky, and Jennifer Henderson from redevelopment, and Sandra, the legal counsel. They've all been amazing to work with. And so hopefully we'll have wet ink on the final agreement soon.
I am looking forward to that wet ink. And I'll sign on behalf of the city. It's going to be wonderful.
Awesome.
And you are absolutely right. One of the things I've been most impressed with in the 4 months that I've been in office is the caliber and quality of the city workforce, from the city manager, who's at the top of the food chain, down to people that are cleaning the parks. Everybody is committed to making this community a better place to live. Their expertise, their knowledge, their caring for the community is, in my opinion, second to none. And I'm saying that as a relative newcomer to the city, but I am very impressed by the caliber of employees that we have.
I agree with you. I've had the fortune now working with them for years, and you couldn't be more accurate. They're a great team.
I think so, too. It's important for me to work with our city employees so they know they're valued, work with the city council. I'm trying to create a very cohesive city council. Not that we're all going to vote in lockstep with each other, but that we're all communicating, that we're all working on the same page, and we're all moving in the same direction. So I think that's pretty well accomplished already. And in addition to that, reaching out to all the other jurisdictions. I've been around a long time, and I know just about everybody in office. Yes. But to be able to pick up the phone and talk to a city councilman or the mayor in North Las Vegas about an issue that we're both facing, same thing in the county, same thing in Henderson, it's really been a very nice relationship that we are building. I mean, I've had personal relationships with everybody for decades, but I thought it was time to bring that to city council. No petty jealousies, don't stand on ceremony, just talking to good friends about doing what's best for our constituents. And we're working on that as well.
Sounds good, Mayor. Let's get back to your vision then, because we talked about the short term, how you've quickly been able to roll some pretty big issues off the table to make room for some midterm issues. Let's call that the next year or two, because then next thing you know, there'll be an election campaign again. Before you know it. But then we can maybe talk about long term later. But in the midterm, what are some key things that you again have set your eyes on and you want to accomplish for the city?
We're working on animal issues. We're dealing with very bad human behavior, abandoning your pets, abusing your pets, harming your pets, just unacceptable behavior. And where do they end up? They end up at the doorstep of the Animal Foundation. Now, I toured it a number of once since I've been in this office. I think they do a very good job under extraordinarily challenging circumstances. And so we need to do a better job educating the public about what they should do. When it's 110 degrees or anything, don't throw your dog in a dumpster. Don't throw your dog out in the middle of the desert. Bring it to the Animal Foundation. We'll find a good home for it. Spaying and neutering, the problem we have is overpopulation. So if we can spay and neuter as many animals as we can find, that's going to help a lot in the future. Less population to deal with. Microchipping, that's very important, because if your dog is lost, jump out of the window while you're driving, anything like that. And they're taken to the Animal Foundation. The only way we can get in touch with the owner is if we know who the owner is. So we're encouraging people to not only spay and neuter their pets, which they should, but they should also microchip. So if they lose their pet, and also keep the microchip current, because it doesn't do any good if you microchipped 10 years ago and you've moved to 3 different locations. We can't find you. And so those are things that we are really stressing. And backyard breeding, it is against the law. You cannot do that. And the marshal's office is doing a number of raids that have successfully shut down a number of these backyard breeders. And we don't do anything unless we get a complaint from the neighbors. So we're encouraging people to please call the marshal's office if you see a backyard breeding operation in your neighborhood. So those are, and again, earth-shattering, no, but perhaps yes for all of these pets. So on the 9th and 10th, the city is May 9th and 10th, the city is partnering with some of the rescues, Hearts Alive, Heaven Can Wait, the Nevada SPCA, and we're providing the funding for them to do the spaying and neutering. So we're hoping in that 2-day period, we're going to get 300 pets spayed and neutered, and we're very excited about that partnership. And then beyond our animal friends, I have to deal, and I'm going to start doing this in early summer, homelessness. It is a very serious challenge, and unfortunately, the numbers are going in the wrong direction. I believe homelessness went up 20% in the last year. Unacceptable. First of all, human beings should not be living on the streets. It's dangerous, it's unhealthy, it's frightening, and it is not good for human beings. We don't belong on the streets. In addition to that, it is very bad for small businesses. If you are in a compromised position and you're homeless and you are sleeping on the sidewalks, if you go up and down in the Arts District, Main Street, it's a beehive of activity. There's a lot of restaurants and a lot of boutique-y places, and it's booming. On the weekend, you go there, art gallery, people are all over it. But if somebody is sleeping on the sidewalk and in front of your store, people aren't going to go in. A lot of these small businesses, their life savings are tied up in that business. If they can't get customers through the door, they're going to lose that business. And not only will they have problems after that, but the employees that they've hired will be out of a job. And then, of course, Jaime, you and I both know big business. And what's big business in Las Vegas? Gaming. And if you go on Fremont Street on the weekends, there's a lot of homeless people there. They should not be there. It's not good for them. It's not good for the big businesses. So we're going to do a thorough deep dive and see what it is that's really going on. What's happening at the courtyard? Why is it that homeless people would rather sleep on the street than go into the courtyard for help? I want to get down to the nitty gritty. What is wrong? How can we remedy it? If we're not able to remedy it, then we better go to Plan B. So those are things that are very important to the community. My goal is not to sustain people on the streets. My goal is to get people off the streets and self-sustaining. So we'll see how that goes, but there's a rescue mission, Catholic Charities, Vegas Stronger, the CARES corridor, the courtyard. What's happening? What can the city do to help? What can we do collectively to get people off the streets? And of course, Campus for Hope. That's going to be that is coming, and I think that's going to be a tremendous addition. Their goal is exactly what I'm saying. First of all, you have to qualify to get into the program. They're anticipating 900 beds, which means 900 less people on the streets, and some of their families giving, if they have mental health problems, mental health therapy. If they're addicted, we're going to get them clean, and then we're going to do job training and transitional housing. They leave when they can take care of themselves and their families. It's not a drop-in place. It's not going to be littered with homeless people on the outside, and a lot of the neighbors are very concerned about that. That is not what this is. This is a fully contained, fully enclosed campus where people are going to go to get help, and successful help. So that's a big issue for us. And of course, economic growth and development, we're all about that. Give people a job. Again, my father was a waiter when I was growing up. On a waiter's salary, he made enough money to put a roof over our head, food on the table, clothes on our back, and 2 daughters through college and me through law school. Not bad on a waiter's salary. And I think it's my job to ensure that people that are in those jobs now have the same opportunities that my dad had when I was growing up. So I think that's a responsibility that I take very, very seriously. And encouraging business. Let's grow these businesses. Let's make it a city that wants to have commerce, wants to bring people in. And I believe that we're in the process of doing that. If you look out my window, if you come to my office, Jaime, to visit Jerry or you look out my window, and there's Symphony Park and all the development going on there. It's amazing. Last weekend, I toured the new Marriott Hotel, and it was on a Saturday. So I thought, nobody's going to be here. It was a construction zone extraordinaire. There were workmen all over the place, not only at the Marriott, but at all of the other facilities that are being built there. It's going to be an amazing, amazing part of the city. Go to the Arts District. It's just extraordinary what's going on there. So there's a lot to do, and I am energetic and committed enough that we're going to get all this done.
Mayor, you're so right. Now people will be able to come to our Smith Center Performing Arts and stay next door at the new hotel. There's a new residence up there that will be patrons of the art center. As you said, your Dina Babsky from your team does a great job in posting things about the medical district as well and the growth there.
That's another one.
All these things are exciting. But I love the perspective the lens in which you looked at homelessness, because a lot of people think about it only an issue with the person, but it does have an economic development impact.
It's very huge.
And so I love how you placed that way, why it's a business imperative for us to really find a solution. In Carson City, we got to meet Eric from the Wynn Resorts and the new executive director, Kim, from the campus.
Yes, she came to my office.
Yeah, and so again, talk like you said about the job training component, it's not we just don't want to create a place for people to stay. We want to create a place to elevate them from dependency to self-sufficiency.
It can be done.
Yes.
Jaime, it's not easy. If it was easy, it would have been done long before this. But I think if we are truly committed to this, and we have to be, I mean, I don't want to be a city where people don't want to go because they feel uncomfortable, or that it's a dirty city, or people are sleeping on the streets. No, we're better than that. And we can take care of this challenge before it gets out of hand. And that's why this is the time to do it.
So let's fast forward now, Mayor, past the, these midterm goals. I don't know if they'll get done before the next mayoral campaign or after, but let's say that we've done a really good job with animals now. We're doing, much better with our population control, and we're doing better with homelessness. It's evident in the streets. We have all these beds, and we have jobs being created. What would be, and we check that off our box, your list, and we say, what would be next? What's the
I'm going on vacation after that.
Yeah, you should. You deserve it. Hopefully you'll get several until then. But then let's project, a second, Berkeley term, which, everybody wants. So what would be the longer term goals, those big ones that you have your sights set on?
I have 4 grandchildren, and next month I'm going to have my 5th grandchild. My family, there are 4 generations of my family that have now called Las Vegas home. My parents came here, my generation, my children, and now my grandchildren. It's my ultimate goal, long after I'm gone, that my grandchildren and their children, who I will never meet, and their children will stay in Las Vegas because it has opportunity. Not only is it our hometown, but they can do well here. And that's my goal, to keep people here, to build our community and to keep building it. So I think the sky's the limit. And look, we're the entertainment capital of the world. We're the gaming capital of the world. Sports. Now we're the sports capital of the world. We could do anything. I want to concentrate on the arts, as you know, and of course, Elaine Wynn passed away earlier this week. Tremendous surprise to me. She was in my office about a month ago.
Wow.
She looked spectacular. Wow. And the purpose of that meeting was to talk about the new art museum that's going up in Symphony Park. And that's going to bring a whole new dimension to downtown Las Vegas. The most extraordinary art in the world is going to be shown in a museum in downtown Las Vegas. Wow. How spectacular is that? So after you enjoy the Mob Museum and the Neon Museum, and we're working very hard to make sure that they stay in downtown Las Vegas, that's where they need to be. But after you do that, then you'll go to the art museum and have another level of culture that people would ordinarily not associate with the city of Las Vegas. Also, lots of opportunity with technology. Now, I'm a low-tech person.
Me too.
When the internet became something, I thought it was a fad. So that's how far behind the 8 ball I am. So I'm not tech savvy, but I'm smart enough to know how important it is to our future. And so I would like Las Vegas to become a hub for tech and AI, and I think we can do that also. So there's lots to do. Look, I'm doing 12-hour days, 7-day weeks, and enjoying every minute of it, but there's no shortage of things to do, that's for sure.
Well, the passion obviously shines through, Mayor, whenever you talk about these goals, and you have a whole community behind you that wants to see this done as well, and we're ready to partner with you to make it happen. I was sad when you left the LVGA to for your campaign, because you brought so much rich opinions and knowledge to that group for years in your different roles. And so, but now I'm so glad to see you back. Yes. And so
in a different role entirely, but I'm very excited to do that.
I think there's many people who are excited to have you back there because, again, you understand, as we were just speaking about economic development and its broad, the things that impact it, including homelessness and other things. So my next question for you is, as you know, at the LVGA, one of the things that we do is kind of make sure that the needs of employers, new or existing, that there's a talent pipeline that's feeding it, working not just with the post-secondary education providers, university, community colleges, vocational training, all these things, but more importantly, the first 13 years, that K through 12 pipeline. And I know there's not a stronger believer in support of education than you all these years in DC. There's even an elementary school named after you here.
Yes,
and so
quite a thrill.
recently what we did was we partnered with the LVGA, the Chamber, the Vegas Chamber, Latin Chamber, Urban Chamber, Henderson Chamber, and the Governor's Office of Economic Development to take that workforce blueprint that we published at the LVGA and take it to the schools in a format that was understandable for elementary school kids. And so an open invitation first, we've done it with Mayor Romero, Mayor's going Brown, but now we'd love to go with you to the Shelley Berkley Elementary School
Love it.
and spend time with the kids in these workbooks.
I have to tell you, I love that school. And the first time I went to see it, and there was my name on oh my gosh. And luckily, my dad was still alive when we did the ribbon cutting, so he got to see the school, and that was the thrill of a lifetime. The school mascot is a bull. It's a Berkeley Bulls, and the bull's name is George. That's my father's name. So we named the school mascot after my dad. I and one of my grandchildren, my 3-year-old, who's named after my father, his name is Georgie, zoned for Berkeley Elementary. So I may very well have a grandchild at Berkeley, which is kind of exciting.
That's so cool. How often do you make it there?
Whenever I'm invited. I try not to be a pest, but they know I'm there. I'm always there for graduation. I'm always there for opening day at school.
Nice.
And a number of other activities that they do. I swear in these when the student government gets elected, they always have a little swearing in, and I do the swearing in of the student body officers.
Yeah.
It's really great. I go reading week, of course, and read to the kids. And so there are other namesakes that are a little more engaged in their school, but I have a wonderful relationship with everybody over there, and the principal is superb.
So when career day, I don't know when it is, but when it comes, it's okay if we volunteer to come with you to Shelley Berkley to do the career? Okay,
yes.
very good.
Oh, that would be a thrill.
We'll make that happen.
Oh,
then.
good. I love that. What we need to do, and I think this is an important conversation to have, and I don't believe anybody knows this better than you. These are not necessarily within the purview or the jurisdiction of the mayor. However, I know if we are truly to become an extraordinary city and reach that aspiration, we need better transportation options, we need better educational opportunities for our kids, and we need better health care. And I'm not talking, look, my daughter is a doctor and my husband is a doctor here in Las Vegas. When I say better, I don't mean that the workforce, the physicians are poor quality of any kind, quite the contrary. But we need an infrastructure for health care, and we need to attract more physicians and all other healthcare providers to our community, especially as we continue to grow. And the era of, if you want to see a doctor, you go to the airport, that's got to be a thing of the past.
Yes.
We need to do that here. And that's why that medical district is so important.
Yeah, I always, a little bit of tremor when people say that the airport is the gateway to better doctors. We have to change that. You're absolutely right.
And we have great doctors. And look, something that most people don't know, the kidney transplant program at UMC, #1 in the nation.
Wow.
I mean, I keep telling them, you need to tout this. This is amazing. But it exists. And we have world-class doctors that are performing the transplants. And I'm very, very proud of that.
Good. So continuing on the theme of alignment of economic development and workforce development, because we know that we can't grow our economy if we don't have the workers that businesses need, as you said, and all the training needs to be not what necessarily we've been doing forever, but instead really listen to make sure that we're meeting the current and future demands of employers. I think you've said that. So again, one of the things we've been really successful working with our partners at the cities, the counties, and the schools is forming 7 industry sector partnerships. The LVGA set 7 targets, of growth. And so for each one, we convened an industry sector partnership of small, middle, and large employers. And that's roughly now about 320 employers that are robustly engaged with us, again, giving us the intelligence we need to shape the pipeline, but also connecting to the resources available in this system. So it's been really, really good for us. The question I have for you is, because I know that shortage of employees is not only in the private sector. I think the city, the counties, Workforce Connections, we're all going to be competing for talent. What do you think we as government agencies can do to remain also employers of choice? Because we can't, like MGM, have free cafeterias and free uniforms, and
that is true.
Yeah, or fancy Starbucks things. And so, how are we going to stay and make sure that we develop, because they're great jobs working for the city as you.
They are. Look, you're never going to get rich in public employment. That's not the point of it. But what I notice is it attracts a certain type of person who believes in public service and takes great pride in their work. And I think as we talked about the caliber of employees at the city, very impressive group of people. And look, there are benefits. It's first of all, a beautiful building to work in.
Yes.
The salaries are good. The benefits are good.
Yep.
Retirement packages are good. And if you want to choose that lifestyle and you believe in helping people and public service, but you're not crazy enough to run for office, they're wonderful jobs.
Yes,
and people develop long-term relationships with their coworkers that last for a lifetime, especially in this community. Because once you live here and you put down roots, chances are you're not going anyplace else. I have not heard too many people saying, I've lived in Las Vegas 30 years and now I'm going to go to a different city. No, people want to stay here and want to work here and raise their families here. And I'm thrilled that none of my kids left town. That everybody is working, everybody has families, everybody lives close to me, which I really appreciate. Yeah. But I think most families want that if you can make it happen. Now, obviously, if your child has a great job opportunity elsewhere, then they need to pursue that.
Absolutely.
But our goal is, yes, let them spend some time away from home, come back. There's going to be a good opportunity for you. All of that boils down to education. And Jaime, the education I got when I went through school, and I'm a graduate of Valley High School and UNLV, I'm the first person in my family to go to college, it was perfect for the life I'm leading. It's obsolete for the life my grandchildren are going to be leading. My grandkids are all, they're more computer savvy than I am. That's extraordinary.
Yep.
I didn't see, the first computer I saw was half the size of this room.
Wow.
And now I get a hold of one in my hand to get all the information that I need.
Yeah.
What the jobs of the future, our future is dependent on harnessing technology for good. And I think we can do that.
And for those interested in learning a little-known fact about Mayor and her time at UNLV and a story about a mascot, watch Season 4, Episode 14. You'll find out more in her first visit here with us. But you're so correct about, how we need to. Another thing I want to ask you for is when we go to these schools to talk about the occupations in the private sector, again, I think we want to partner, and we've talked to your team about it too, partnering with the city about telling the narrative you just did that, hey, there's tasks for everybody. And if public service with these benefits and these, this level of satisfaction of helping people is you, then let us tell you, because we want to employ you at the city of Las Vegas when you leave high school, okay?
Exactly. Look, the city manager, who, I've been working with very closely since I got elected, Mayor, has been with the city for a number of decades.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what job he started with, but I know he was head of public works for a number of years, and now he's running the whole show. He's the city manager and has a depth of knowledge that is extraordinary. Why? Because he's been here for so long. And so I encourage people to do that. And when I first got out of law school, I worked for the state. I was deputy director of the state commerce department. I do love public service, not only in office, but in working for people in the community. I think it's a very important thing to do.
And I always love these examples of folks in the city or in the county where let's say they join the city of Las Vegas at the age of 18 straight out of high school, by the time they're 48, they put in 30 years. That's a great time.
That is extraordinary to me, yes.
And then you say, well, what if they went to college? Okay, 22 plus 30, 52. Yeah. That's still a very young...
That's a whole new career after that. I know.
So we got to tell that story a little better to the kids.
I'll tell it with you. And, our dear friend Jerry Schroeder, who's now my chief of staff at the city, she was a city councilwoman in Henderson for 12 years.
My boss.
Your boss. And she was termed out. And what did she do after that? She went to work for Congresswoman Susie Lee. And what did she do after that? She became my chief of staff at the city. I mean, that is an extraordinary demonstration of success in the public sector.
Yeah, we love Jerry too. And you're right. I'm going to come visit because I've heard a story that, and you're now up in the 7th floor for your birthday. There was a cake party. Everybody got to have a cake.
I got a giant cake, which was great. And we invited the entire city hall from the 1st to the 7th floor. Come in, have a piece of cake, and let's celebrate my birthday. And it was great. But I got to take some cake home that night too, which was okay also.
Well, even though I'll be in the building across. I can still come over. Okay,
course,
for cake.
Anytime.
All right, we'll do that.
We'll give you a hall pass. You can come anytime.
That's great. So let's get back to this move-in because that's kind of what we wanted to end with on this conversation, that there's so many great things coming. And again, it's evident that you leading with passion and energy. Nobody's doubting, as you've already demonstrated, a few things off the list already. So things are going to get done. But I see this, again, this building, this campus, Civic Plaza, as such a lift and energy for the city with those new buildings and you centralizing a bunch of your employees that are in other places with strategic partners.
Bringing them back to City Hall.
Yes. I can imagine already because I hear your team talk about how they're closing the street so that food trucks can come in to create, again, a community feeling much like a university campus.
Yeah.
There's beautiful outdoor dining areas up on the 5th floor, and there's all these great features.
And you could buy food at the food truck and come and sit in Civic Plaza.
That's right.
I understand, although I look at from my window, I'm not sure, but I was told that we could accommodate 4,000 people at a time in Civic Plaza. There's going to be a stage. There's going to be free concerts for people to come. So you go to the food truck, you get your food, you walk over to the plaza, you sit down, you watch a concert. I mean, this is what a city is supposed to be. Yeah. It's very, very exciting. In addition to that, I envisioned farmers markets and poetry readings in this corner and doing something else in that corner.
What about Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup celebrations?
Ooh, that would be the perfect location.
Las Vegas Aces Championship.
I love those women. Yes, it's great.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes, it is.
And you can see it all from...
And I could... I'm hoping when we have events
you'll be
like
down
that,
there.
I'm actually down there to enjoy it. But I look down, and even in the few months that I've been there, I mean... the area that we're talking about, the plaza and the building across the street that's part of City Hall, I mean, it was a construction zone. Yeah. You look out now, it's a park.
It's almost done,
thought, oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's going to be open this summer. Very exciting.
Very exciting. And again, I was just this morning working with your team on it. We hope, our goal is to have that lease agreement in front of the council in your next meeting so we can be official. So.
I will look forward to voting a very strong yes for that. I can't wait.
Well, we'll be there to take some commemorative photos hopefully that day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, again, we couldn't be more grateful that you came back, and obviously we hope to have you every time you want to be here to share your platform, share your vision, share wins like the ones we shared today, and also to ask for help from the community, because we all need to work together to accomplish these things for the best of our city, our region. What final thoughts, Mayor, do you have we want to leave us with? I know one thing I still owe you is, Jerry and I have talked about it, we need to go together to the U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting so I can start to connect you to your peers that care about the same issues you do. But what other thoughts do you leave us with, maybe asking us to do something? Or again, we're going to put here on the screen and announce one more time that on May 9 and 10, you have an event that you want us to be aware of? Yes.
May 9th and 10th, the city is partnered with the rescues that we talked about earlier in the podcast to do spay and neutering. Come down, spay and neuter your pet. It's not going to cost you anything. And I think that's important because, look, if you are, you've got two jobs, or your husband and wife are working, and you've got the kids, and you've got a mortgage, and things are a little tight right now. There's no doubt about it. Families are having challenges. If it's a couple of $100 to get spayed and neutered, you may want to do that. It just isn't in the family budget. Yep. We'll take care of it for you.
That's
so
great.
Come on down. I don't know if you need a reservation or anything. I guess people can go online and check that out
on the city website.
On the city or Hearts Alive. It's not the foundation. Hearts Alive and Heaven Can Wait.
Okay.
And they're both hosting it in their locations. So it's going to be a thing to do. Also, I've got my State of the City address.
That's coming up.
It is coming. I'm still writing it. You know, I always write my own stuff, and I'm old-fashioned enough that I write it out on yellow paper. So I told you I wasn't very tech savvy. So I'm almost done with the first draft of the speech. I hope to finish that this weekend, and looking forward to doing it. We're gonna upgrade our State of the City. Instead of being at City Hall, it's going to be at the Smith Center, and there'll be a little cocktail reception after the speech.
Very
so
nice.
Very excited for people to come and listen or watch on TV.
Yeah, very nice. When you are going to be speaking that night, will you still have the yellow paper, or does that get transferred to a more formal?
That's a good question because all these years I write it out longhand, but I'm getting tired of doing that. So I may just, type it up. It's not going to be, I don't think we're going to use a teleprompter, but I may change my mind. If I could do this by memory, I would. But there's a lot of information to get out to the public. It's, a state of the city. Where is the city right now? What are we doing? What are our plans? What's our future? And I don't want to leave anything out. So we'll see. But whatever it is, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
I believe that. So are we. So there you go. There's the invitation for those events. We're going to make sure we have it here on the screen as well. And Mayor, it's always so good to see you. We're going to be neighbors soon.
Yes, I can't wait.
I won't have to wait weeks or months to see you. I'll just look out the window and and say hi.
I'll look forward to that. And thank you so much for having me on again.
Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you at the next one. Until then, stay safe. Mayor Berkley, thank you for staying over for our bonus segment called Against the Wall. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm against the wall.
This is your second time, so we've mixed it up for you a little bit. The first segment is called True or False. And so I'm going to make some statements and you're going to tell me true or false. Are you ready? You're having the time of your life in the mayor's role.
True.
The mayor's role is rewarding.
True.
Being the mayor has no challenges.
False.
You are already getting to know many of the members of the city team.
Yes, true.
Many of those members came to see your office and shared a birthday cake.
True.
Your family has been very supportive in this new chapter.
True.
Running for office or campaigning is completely pain-free and 100% enjoyable.
False. Mostly enjoyable, but not pain-free.
The next 8 years will be some of the best in the city's history.
Yes, definitely.
Well, awesome. You made it through the first segment called True or False. The second one is called Tough Choices. First one, working in Washington, D.C. or working in Las Vegas?
Las Vegas.
When visiting D.C., flying into the Baltimore or Reagan Airport?
Baltimore was better.
Watching a game on TV and cheering for the Las Vegas Raiders or for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Oh, I can't answer that. Oh, yes, I can. Look, if you had told me when I was growing up that ice hockey would be the hottest game in town,
That's right.
I would have told you were out of your mind.
That's
but
right.
The Golden Knights, and they're going Stanley Cup again. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to have a repeat. And the Raiders, I love them. I mean, I'd love them to start winning some games.
Yes.
But they have brought so much attention and so many people into Las Vegas, I love them.
Yeah.
So both.
Both. Very good. Both is the answer. Next one. Attending a game of the Las Vegas Aces or the Las Vegas Aviators? Both.
I'm going to go Aces.
All right. Doing the WC podcast here only once or doing it twice?
I want to do it 3 times.
All right. Very good. The next segment is called Finish the Sentence. So we're going to give you 90% of the sentence, see if you can finish it. Here we go. If Mayor Berkley could change one thing about the city with a wave of magic wand, it would be
Eliminating the homeless crisis.
Wow, that's awesome. So far, the best part about being mayor is
I get to sleep in my own bed at night.
I like that. So far, Mayor Berkley's favorite thing about the City Hall building itself is
The 7th floor where my office is located.
beautiful view. When Mayor Berkley is invited to do the WC podcast for the third time, she will say,
We've solved every problem in Las Vegas and it's smooth sailing from here.
and recording the WC podcast here for the second time with us was
Invigorating.
awesome. Well, thank you for staying over and doing the bonus segment.